All right, y'all. We back, and we back again. Thank you guys that just watched our reintroduction. We're back and rolling, and as we are here again, it's the start of the NFL season. You see me holding the ball up here. I'm all locked in, ready to go, and excited for football to be back. NFL has been a long wait for the season to be back, and we're glad to be here. Thank you guys again for you guys' patience and all of that. I'm finally rejoining us on the show. Follow us online on IG and TikTok at section.300. Follow us on Twitter at Section 300 Sports. A lot of good content going up across the board. Appreciate all the love. Subscribe to the show if you're a new viewer. And thank you guys for tuning back in. And now with that being said, let's jump back into it. So, NFL Week 1, man. I'm excited. Alec, how you feeling about season being back?
Very excited. It's a very exciting time of year for sure when NFL is right around the corner. It's 2 days from now with the Bills-Rams Thursday night game. So, yeah. Fantasy football, too, of course. That plays into it, the excitement for the season.
Just a quick note on that. We've been joking about it off air, but last season we joked about my woes, and you guys may have saw me dancing and things. I only had like 2 or 3 teams last year. I was mad about the year before. I was boycotting still and all kinds of stuff. So I didn't load up on teams last year. So I had like 2 or 3 maybe total. This year, I don't know what it was, the long summer mixing with everything else going on. I was like, let me draft like every day. So you guys ready for this? I have like 17 teams right now with more drafts on the way, and that's before our official draft with me and Alec.
And how many are you going to actually pay attention to?
Oh, none of them. Just ours. I like drafting more than actually the competition of it. I like drafting. I like trading and things, and a lot of people don't like doing all of that. So let me just put teams together for the fun of it and go from there. I was just going to do mock drafts just for the fun of it, but you were like, why would you do the mock draft if you do the real thing?
Yeah, you get the real ones for free too.
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up locking in a whole bunch of teams, and we'll see. My percentage is up. I have more chances to win now. I will maybe less dancing from me going forward. So yeah, excited for all of that. As I said, our official draft with Alec and some of our viewers, some of our boys, is coming up later this week as well. Excited for that, and we'll keep you guys updated on that. Those that want to follow, and yeah, we're excited about all things NFL. So that's great things. And now let's jump into it. So we want to start with just kind of predictions for the season. Go straight into letting you guys know how we think things are going to play out, and then we'll start going more in depth about what's going to go on this week. So we're going to go with division winners for each division. I'm starting with the AFC and breaking it down. So Alec, in the AFC North, who is your division winner?
You started with the North. You just skipped East. With the North, I think you'll be happy I got the Ravens winning the North.
Let's get to it. Let's get straight to it. Let's talk about it.
I think this is going to be a really good year for Lamar Jackson. You'll see some of my picks later. I think it's going to be a really, really good year for Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
And for this Ravens squad, I think losing Marquise Brown, maybe not the biggest loss in terms of weapons. I think he was a fine wide receiver 2, but having to play him in a wide receiver 1 position didn't bode so well for the team. I think Rashad Bateman's going to step up, and instead, I think Mark Andrews is going to do Mark Andrews things. And I think Lamar Jackson is going to be dynamic as he always has been. There's always the questions about his throwing ability as a quarterback. I think he's going to be good in that facet of the game. I think he's going to be dynamic as far as running the ball. Hopefully I know there's been questions about like Greg Roman and some of the play calling at times. But I think for the most part, the scheme I don't worry about too much when Lamar is healthy. I think they were 8-3 before he went down. So I think that trend continues. When since Lamar has been the starting quarterback, you guys have won games. Like you guys have been playoff contenders each and every year that he's been QB1. So I think that trend continues. I think the division is not super competitive this year. I don't think so. I don't think
disagree.
So because I think the Browns are completely out of it, having Deshaun out for 11 games.
Okay.
I think the Steelers will be maybe a little bit better with better quarterback play because Big Ben was kind of on his last leg there last season. So maybe a little bit better, but they're starting off the season with Trubisky. So they're not starting off with who I think they're going to finish the season with, which is Kenny Pickett. So it may take them a second to get their footing straight. The Bengals have a tough schedule. That's why I think they're not going to win the division. I think they're going to be second to the Ravens. But the Bengals are going to be better than they were last year. I just think they have a pretty tough schedule.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really like this Ravens team this year.
Listen, I'm not mad at it at all. They're my pick as well. Again, we did a quick reintroduction for the pod. Those that don't know, we both are, as you see the hat back there, me and Alec, we're both LA-based. We're out here in LA doing our thing. But before the Rams got here, before the Chargers showed up, I got hooked on Baltimore. I've been a Ravens fan my whole life since. So I rock with Baltimore. We'll talk about them in depth at times on here. So definitely a big fan of them and continue to root for them in their success and love with the team that they have right now. So, yeah, definitely believe that. And I will say, too, as much as I love the Ravens and in the past I got carried away, I would like to take a more unbiased approach going forward. So to your point, to my face earlier, I try to look at the other team and say it's very possible that they could have good, successful seasons. I see the Bengals, even with a tough schedule, having a nice run because of, though they're a tough schedule, they have a good, very good team themselves. Jamar, I think, elevates yet again. I think Joe in the backfield, Joe, Mixon and Burrow, both elevate their play. T. Higgins, I think, is a great receiver as well. They have a lot of good pieces there that can combat the tough schedule that's in front of them. The Steelers, I want the Steelers to be as great as possible. The same way that Stephen A. may poke at the Cowboys and want their demise. It's the same kind of thing, but less dramatic, I'll say. I do think that the Steelers couldn't have a good turnaround. I love their receiver group. I was so mad when they got Pickens, NFL young boy that they call him. I thought he was a great pick. I would love him in Baltimore, but so be it. We went with the guys that we did, and I'm happy with who we got. But him going there definitely was a frustrating moment in the draft. But I think they have a great group there. And with Mike Tomlin, they always find a way. He's not going to have them, even through their ups and downs, as you said, they're not going to fall too low. So I think it's still going to be very competitive and all around.
Hasn't he never missed the playoffs or something like that?
He's never been under 500, I believe, which is even crazier in my opinion. Because there are guys that miss the playoffs and they're tanking down for the bottom of the draft or whatever. For him to miss playoffs sometimes but still be above 500, I believe, definitely is a feat to be acknowledged. So great teams there. The Browns with Deshaun getting there late should have a nice end of the season at least, and we'll see how competitive they get. But I do think all around it should be a very competitive division. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for the Ravens, but I do think they get it done for the same reason that you pointed out. I think there are only a few quarterbacks that can put a team on their shoulders and carry them to the promised land, and Lamar definitely is one of them. And I absolutely believe with the pressure that supposedly is on his shoulders right now, he can handle it and have a great season. So definitely rooting for Lamar. And again, as you said, the receiving core that we're putting together with Bateman now there, Duvernay, I like a whole lot. Isaiah Likely is as a tight end kind of combo kind of guy that they try to use him as, stretch him out wide sometimes. Andrews, of course, and others. I think the offense can start really rolling. The defense is what it is and continues to stack, adding Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton in the draft. So, just a lot of good pieces all around, and I'm excited for Baltimore. That was too much of a deep dive. I didn't mean to go too in depth just now. We'll go back to them later. But definitely the Ravens for the AFC North. Now that we go forward,
real quick, because I did do record predictions for my winners, so I got them at 13-4. Like I said, I'm very confident in this Ravens team this year.
I'm not mad at that, and I'll take it. But I have to pull up the schedule because that was the part that we didn't get in sync on before. So I have the schedule in front of me, but I have the total odds
at 10.5. So.
Yeah. I'll take the over on the 10.5 for sure. And then the 13, I can see that being very possible as well. I think also it's a thing where you learn from your mistakes. And last season, beyond the injuries, we also had all of those last-second 2-point conversion attempts, and we had a lot of drop passes across the board and miscommunication and all kinds of stuff. I think we worked out the kinks this offseason, and we fixed those things. And all those games that we lost last season, I mean all of them. But if we win even a couple of those close last second games, it changes our fate a whole lot. I think we were still, even with the losses that we had at the end of the season, we were a game away from making the playoffs still. So make one conversion, and we have a whole different fate. So I think we get those done. And yeah, I think we have a successful season. So I like the 13 number, and I'm excited for them. So yeah, that's the AFC North, as I said. Now moving on to AFC South. Who do you have there?
Oh, you saving the East, I guess. Okay. At the South, I got the Titans. Actually, I think it was between the Titans and the Colts for me. I think the Colts have a little bit of hype just because they did upgrade, I think, at quarterback while Matt Ryan may be older. I think he's the floor is a little bit higher.
I think it's less about Matt Ryan and more about just the Jonathan Taylor hype train, and now everyone on board with him.
Well, I mean, they had Jonathan Taylor last year, but they blew it.
Sure, but I'm saying they blew it last year. I think they now try to right those wrongs this year with the addition of Matt Ryan, so he gets to just add to it. But I think having him in the backfield, he's, to our fantasy point, he's everyone's number one pick in the draft and all that kind of stuff. Sure. I think people expect a very big season from him, and that should ripple across the rest of the team as well, and they see success there. So yeah, the Colts are definitely in the race. But just real quick, I'll let you carry on. Yeah. I agree with you that the Titans actually are the ones that I believe will get it done. So
yeah, I got them at 11-6. I think I had the Titans, the Colts at like 10-7, like right behind them. But I like the comeback year for Derrick Henry. I expect him to play most, if not all, the games this year, and if he does, he's close to a 2,000-yard rusher. I think he still has it in him. I believe he's 28 this year, so he's getting up there in age for running back age, but he's a different beast.
He's one of those two that's built different.
Exactly. So I really like Derrick Henry this year, and I think he helps to lead them to a really successful season. I think Tannehill, I'm not 100% confident in him leading my squad. I know they drafted Malik Willis. I don't know if he gets much of any run this year, but Tannehill doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence in me, but I think he's a decent quarterback. And Robert Woods comes in there as the wide receiver one. I think he'll be good for them as long as he stays healthy. Some questions about the other receivers. I know there's been some weird things going on, I guess, with like Treylon Burks, the rookie, in camp. But I think this defense is solid. I think a healthy Derrick Henry last year, they probably win that playoff game.
Right.
So yeah, I think this Titans team is really good, and Derrick Henry will lead them to winning that division.
Yeah, I have the same sentiment. I think the defense also is stout, as I believe you said. And yeah, I think that they find a way to get it done. So I said all the hype things about the Colts, but they still feel like, as much hype as there is, it still feels like a team that's going to get in their own way at some point. As good as they are, even with replacing Carson Wentz now with Matt Ryan, it just seems like something still is missing from that team. Maybe it's a receiver play, and we'll see the increased play from Michael Pittman there, who should be very good. But something still seems missing from that team that I think will allow the Titans to get ahead of them there. So, yeah, I have the Titans ahead of them there, and it should be a fun one. You see I'm ducking the AFC East. Do you want to jump into that now? Who you got in the AFC East?
Might as well save them for last. We can go to the West.
All right, I think the West is even more of a debate, to be honest. I want to say that
much more of a debate, yeah.
So I'm fine. We'll jump into it now. Who you got in the AFC West?
It was kind of between three teams here for me, between the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. I think the Raiders are improved with Devontae Adams, and I like that connection between him and Carr. I just think their defense is the most suspect of the four teams. So I don't think any of these teams will be more than like 2 games apart. Really, like I think the Raiders will be just right on the cusp, but I think there's 2, potentially 3 teams that make the playoffs from this division. But I have the Chargers winning it slimly. I have them at 11-6.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs take a bit of a hit. I think the Chiefs still make the playoffs though. So I think the Chiefs end up around 10-7, maybe the same record, but the Chargers maybe have that tiebreaker with them and get to 1. I think just straying from the Chargers for a second, I think the Chiefs maybe are getting a little bit underrated, just having lost.
I was gonna say, I'll jump in now. I think you had them. You said they're third in your list.
Second.
Second. Okay. Well, I have them first. I've learned my lesson not to doubt them. I know there's kind of rivalry there.
I like
because of Lamar versus Mahomes and things going on there. When we play each other, all the Andrew will be there. But in this instance, as I said, putting bias aside and all of that, I think there is a whole lot underrating of this squad. Let's not forget who Patrick Mahomes is. And what he's capable of a lot with Travis Kelce there. Definitely a great dynamic duo. And I'm trying to say his name right. That's how he says his name, right?
We call it Kelsey.
Whatever. But with that 1-2 punch there, and then it's funny. I was a Juju Smith-Schuster fan at USC. USC is my college school that I like rooting for. And he went to NFL, went to the Steelers, so I couldn't really root for him. Now he's on the Chiefs, and it's kind of the same thing, but not as much animosity. So I can kind of support him there, and I believe he could do very well in that situation. Mecole Hardman is kind of in a make or break ish type situation where people are kind of doubting him a little bit and trying to figure out who he actually is, and he has a real chance to elevate his standing in the league. So I think he can do that. People have some high praise for Sky Moore, I believe his name is. That was their draft pick. Their receiver there. So they still have plenty of pieces. They lost Tyreek, but got a whole lot of assets back. Put together a more rounded offense there. So pieces in the backfield as well. Edwards-Helaire, and I think Ronald Jones is now there as well in the backfield as a backup amongst others. So just off the top of the head. But, yeah, they have pieces there. The defense still should be stout, even losing out on Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, not as good, though.
Not as good, but I think they'll have enough offense to combat that. In the same way, I believe that the Raiders will, and I actually have the Raiders third in the division. I have
interesting
Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. I like the Broncos as well. I mean, it's a dogfight. I mean, somebody has to be last, and it's what it is. And just believing that, I guess, buying into the hype and seeing the trends of the past, and believing that Russell will start strong. And we'll see a great Monday night performance this Monday night, week 1.
Oh, definitely for that.
By week 10, I think the jig will be up, and things might start turning for the worst enough for the other teams to capitalize. Also, I believe
does Russell Wilson get an MVP vote this year?
We'll talk about that. I don't think so, but yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, I think there is enough of a fall off there for other teams to capitalize. Also, I have a little bit more faith in the Raiders than people seem to have. I know there's a lot of hype for them. There's also a lot of fear about them because of the Raiders still. I think with that offense, they can't turn it around. The defense isn't the greatest, I know, but I think this is a year where they can start to really get things right over there in Vegas. So they're trying to gear up. So they're committed with Devontae being there and all of that. So I think the time is now for them to really press the gas. So I think they find a way to be third, and then the Broncos fall to fourth. And so Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos in that division for me.
Okay. If you watch the show, I typically lean more defense when making my pick. So that's main reason why I have the Raiders last. But like I said, I don't think there's more than 2 games in between a lot of these teams in this division. I think the Chargers have the most upgraded team from last year, and we'll talk more about them in a deeper dive. But I think their defense is a significant upgrade. And Justin Herbert has all the hype in the world behind him. Maybe second only to like Josh Allen probably into the season. So I think he will perform. I think it will be a bloodbath in the division. Like I think these teams probably split the games with each other across the board.
Agree.
So I think it's like splitting hairs between them and the Chiefs, because we've seen the Chiefs winning pedigree. They haven't missed the playoffs since Patrick Mahomes has been starting quarterback, like similar to like Lamar.
Yeah.
So between Mahomes, Reed, Kelsey still being there, I think Tyreek leaving hurts, but maybe a game or two. I think they won 12 games last year, so I think they win 11 or 10 this year. Still make the playoffs, but I got the Chargers eking them out in the division.
I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that. So definitely be a fun one to watch. That's probably the most intense division that you want to keep your eyes on this year. That's all the hype there. Can't go wrong with rooting for anybody in that division and having high hopes for them. So gonna be fun across the board there. So that's the AFC. I know we just went down. Now going to the other side, the NFC.
Well, we didn't say AFC East. You just skipped them.
Oh, I already skipped that. My bad. AFC East is pretty obvious, I believe, right? So let's just breeze past this one. As you said, best for last. Who you got? We look at the Bills, right? Let's just get out the way, right?
I mean, everybody is labeling Josh Allen as him. I've had this debate on our show for the past couple of years. I think he is. It
was a question for a little while. It's a period now. It's stamped.
I think he's officially turned the corner into the him zone. Like he's got that dog in him. Whatever meme you want to throw on him, I think he's got it now. What'd you say?
The him zone. I like that.
I think he's in that discussion for sure with Mahomes, with Rodgers, with Brady. I think he's in that tier. So I think they're the clear favorites in this division, and I think that's for a reason. Their offense with him at the stead is dynamic, and then the defense has been one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL the past couple seasons. And I think adding Von Miller will help while he is towards the end of his career. Still a good linebacker.
He signed a 6-year contract. He got
the contract was crazy though.
Yeah,
like, he signed it like I think he will have a couple good seasons for them still.
They just want this one. That's all they want.
Exactly. And this is their year. Like this is who a lot of people are picking to win the Super Bowl. So I think they win the division, and there's expectations of them making that Super Bowl run. I guess the main threat to them in that division would be the Dolphins potentially.
I was gonna say, even without injury coming into play, because we don't know that hasn't happened or whatever. Yeah. Even without that, is there any threat from the Dolphins to actually jump ahead of them, or is the Bills for sure getting that?
I don't see it. Like I see the Dolphins having a good season. I think Tua gets good numbers with Tyreek, but I don't see them winning more than 10, 11 games, because while the Bills are the clear favorites, I think there will be decent competition in the division between them and the Dolphins and the Patriots with Belichick coaching there. So I don't see the Dolphins getting more than 10, 11 wins. So no, I don't really see anybody challenging the Bills, because I got them like the Ravens. I got them at 13-4 as well. So yeah, I think they kind of run away with it, if you want to call it that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you there. I do like the Dolphins a little bit. I'm not as high on Tua as Tyreek Hill is, but I do see the talent that could be there, and believe that they could make a nice push. So they'll keep the Bills on their toes enough to make sure they're focused all season long, if anything. So yeah, definitely should be nice to watch there, and excited to see if they can live up to at least some of the expectations that are being put onto them this season. So that now is the end of the AFC predictions, just in regards to division winners. Now as we go to the NFC side, let's start with the North again. NFC North, who you got there?
This is probably the easiest one of the bunch for me. I got the Packers there. I think a lot has been made of Davante Adams leaving, but I mean, plenty of different sports channels and media sources have talked about how even without Davante Adams, the Packers have been like winning game. Like I think they're like 7 Rodgers is like 7-1 without Adams like on the field. Something like that. So.
They said 9-0 today. I don't know which one.
Oh really?
True,
okay. So,
either way, it's like okay, cool. But
yeah, like clearly, like Adams is arguably the best receiver in football still. So yeah, it's clearly a hit to lose him for Rodgers. But Rodgers is still one of the best QBs in the league. He won MVP last year, and you could say that Adams was a major part of that, him being his leading receiver. But I think he'll find a way to make it work with a lesser receiving core, but two really good running backs. One maybe great in Aaron Jones, you could say. And I think he'll do a lot of the pass catching as well out of the backfield. There's questions about which rookie wide receiver will step up, whether it be Romeo Doubs or whether it'll be Christian Watson.
Well, Christian Watson was the one drafted early. Romeo Doubs just showed up and started balling. So if he just adds to the group, that's only more weapons at Rodgers' disposal. So yeah,
Alan Lazard, I guess, is going to be the wide receiver one. He's like the only remaining receiver because they lost MVS as well to Kansas City.
But they have Randall Cobb, but he's not a one. So I don't count. But yeah,
he'll be, I guess, a safety net maybe for Rodgers and Robert Tonyan as well, coming back from injury. Can be that as well. So I think he'll have enough weapons. He won't have that elite wide receiver, but he'll have enough weapons to spread the ball around and to get them wins. And this defense is still elite. So I got them winning 12 games. I got them at 12-5. And a lot has been said about the Vikings' new offensive coordinator instilling that offense like the Rams had last year. With Cooper Kupp and Stafford and Justin Jefferson going off, but I don't think this team is good enough. I think they get blown out by the Packers week 1. So I don't think this team is good enough to challenge the Packers in this division. The Lions have hype too.
I was gonna say that there's no faith in Goff we trust.
I like them. I think they had a lot of close games last year that came down to the wire. They could have won.
The Ravens had to kick a 65-yard field goal to beat them. So they fight, absolutely. So we'll see if they can turn it around. I don't think
the Bears. No, I don't think the Bears are good enough.
They'll be bottom of the league this year, sadly. But I think Packers, Vikings are the top two there, with the Packers having clear separation above the ladder. So I'm with you on that. Rodgers shows out yet again. 3-peat for Rodgers. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Say, like, he can't keep getting away with this, but I don't really know what he's getting away with.
Yeah, I mean, he's just balling.
Fizzle out in the playoffs. So I think more regular season success and another fizzle out in the playoffs is probably the core for the Packers. Yeah.
Gotcha. So it should be fun, and we'll see how that plays out. We'll talk about awards in a minute. But now moving on to the rest of the conference, the NFC South. Who you have there?
South. I got the Buccaneers. I think a couple teams will be slightly improved. I think the Panthers will be slightly improved with Baker Mayfield at quarterback.
Slightly. Keyword slight.
Slightly. Because of how bad Darnold is.
Guys, I learned my lesson on Baker. You won't fool me once. Shame on me. I'm not getting fooled again. He'll be decent, but I don't think he's going to get them past anybody else in this division.
Right.
So, yeah.
Slight improvement there. Saints, I think, will be slightly improved. I'm still concerned about Michael Thomas. Like I thought he was supposed to have like a bounce back year, but then now he's got injury concerns again with the hamstring. So I'm a little bit concerned. I think Olave is going to have a good year as a rookie. I think Winston will air it out. Same concerns for me a little bit though with not taking care of the ball. So. I don't know.
I guess here's my one hot take then, because I have them winning the division actually.
Yeah, that's your hot take because I don't see it.
I don't see it past the Bucs, even though the Bucs are high powered still, and they have Brady back again, and Julio and all those guys. I believe they kind of coast through the regular season this year, as they try to figure out things with their O line that I think is very messed up there. Just having a bunch of just being honest, just having a bunch of older guys on the roster, kind of not to the same extent, of course, but kind of like we saw with our Lakers last year, how they kind of had to manage the age of that squad, and a lot of guys sat and had injuries and all the little nicks and knacks and all this stuff. Tom Brady said during that, after coming back from that break, in the preseason, like, I'm 45, man, I got shit going on. So I think we see a lot of shit going on with that team. As they just start trying to find their way through the season, they'll be a force in the playoffs when they get there, which I believe they will still in the NFC. But in regards to just the division, I think the Saints can find a way during this season to win a game or two more than them potentially. So I had them there, and that's even with Michael Thomas being potentially hobbled still. I like Olave a whole lot. I like Jarvis Landry in that spot. Kamara had some things going on, I believe, but I think if he's not on the field, he definitely will have a major impact. Mark Ingram, who's I'm a big fan of, he was a Raven for a little while. Definitely believe that he can be a serviceable backup for them. And their defense, now with Tyrann Mathieu, who's there now, opposed to the Chiefs, I think can elevate their play. Even losing Marcus Williams as a result, I think they still can have enough of an impact in the regular season to beat the Bucs there.
Is this the Saints' first year without Sean Payton, or was he good last year?
Is that right? I think this is his first year.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit of a hit.
That does play his part.
I forget who replaced him. The Bucks have a new head coach as well. I believe it's Todd Bowles, though, right?
Yeah, but he's been in the system.
Exactly. So he's in the system. I think he takes over for Arians and kind of seamlessly transitions into that head coaching role.
Real quick, it's the same thing with the Saints. Dennis Allen was the DC there, and he got bumped up to the head coach. So somewhat of a similar situation, but obviously the Saints roster and the Bucks roster are not the same. So we'll see how he manages that.
Ultimately, what it comes down to for me, I think the roster is much better. The quarterback is light years better, we know. But I think the roster from top to bottom is better. I do like some of the pieces on the Saints, and the Saints defense is a problem. It's even a problem for Brady usually. Like they usually split with the Buccaneers.
Yep.
But I think this, even though they lost a couple guys, they lost Gronk. There's some questions about Fournette and his shape, I guess, like this year going into this season.
He seemed fine to me. He was just on the pivot, I believe, a couple days ago, and he said he's.
Don't be fooled by the. Don't be fooled by the. Don't be fooled.
Okay, I'm saying he's sitting there. He didn't sitting there. He don't look like. I saw pictures early on. People tried to make Eddie Lacy jokes and stuff. He don't seem like he's like that. Yeah. He seems like he's still ready to go. So I think he'll be serviceable. I mean, fantasy wise, he's a top 7 running back this year, I believe it seems. So he will have high hopes.
He might burn some people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I think this roster is very solid. Like you mentioned, Julio, he's kind of on his last leg, but I think Brady can get some use out of him.
He's on his last leg, but he's the wide receiver 4 for this team. So it's like he doesn't have a big impact.
Russell Gage too. I think maybe we'll have some impact the first few weeks with Godwin potentially out. Evans is going to continue to be productive. I like the roster a little bit more than the Saints. I think the Saints are the team that would challenge them. I don't think the Panthers do, and I think the Falcons are going to be bottom of the barrel in the NFL. Yeah. So I'm not mad at the Saints pick, but I like the Bucks in this division.
Got you. I guess that's my one hot take. Then I'm rolling with Jameis there. I think he could find a way. So definitely gonna be fun to watch. Eating the W's, man. I'm looking forward to that. So fun stuff there. Moving on now, the NFC West should be a good one. Who you got there?
NFC West. This one was a little bit tough for me between the Rams, the Cardinals, and the 49ers. Seahawks, I think, are going to be another bottom of the barrel team.
Yeah.
Having lost Russell Wilson. I ended up going with the Rams with a slight edge, though. I don't want to call it a championship hangover because I think this team is good enough to not quite have that and like focused enough with McVay and Aaron Donald and Stafford and Kupp like leading this team. Like I don't think they let their foot off the gas, but I think it is a kind of a competitive division.
Very much so.
And I think losing Robert Woods, potentially losing OBJ, we don't know, but I think getting Allen Robinson will be huge for them. I think he has a great bounce back year. Cooper Kupp, I think it'll be hard to repeat the exact same year he had. I think he has a really good season once again. Yeah. But it'll be hard to repeat that Triple Crown Offensive Player of the Year year once again. I think the defense got a little bit worse. I think they still win this division, but it's close. I got them at 11-6. And I think they have the ability to make noise in the playoffs once again. I love Sean McVay. Love this team. So, it's going to be close, but I got the Rams winning. I got the Super Bowl champion shirt on.
Yeah, you still feeling it. You still feeling it. I'm going to give him a shot.
How you feeling?
I believe that there will be enough of a hangover. Actually, I won't call it a hangover. I think in the same way that the Bucks kind of just find their way through the season and just do what they need to do to get in. I think the Rams do the same type thing. And I think the Niners have more of their foot on the gas. They're still at from everything I've seen.
Are you 100% confident in Trey Lance? Like, is that what you're banking on? Because that's part of my concern with the 49ers.
Not fully, but even in that being the case, if he for some reason is bad, Jimmy G still is there and he's serviceable enough to keep them afloat. So I think them having the bad taste in their mouth from the last few seasons, from the Super Bowl losses to the injury-prone season that they had, to the Rams loss that they had last postseason, I think they are trying to find their way back to the Super Bowl that they were in a few years ago. And I think they're going to really push to do so. And they're going to make that felt all season long and really make their impact all year. So, yeah, I believe that they can win enough games to just get ahead of the Rams there. And I believe that they will be the winners there. I will say, too, the Cardinals are very much a regular season team that they can kind of trick a lot of folks.
They're three-quarters of the regular season team.
Three-quarters, exactly. Yeah. So they'll trick folks for a little while. But I think in the end, the Rams will slightly separate. And the Niners will be the ones that have the crown of that division and hold that, at least for the regular season, as having the most wins there. So, I think the Niners, with Trey Lance there, Debo and all those boys ready to roll, I think they can get it done. So, yeah, I'm going to take a chance on them.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, so most every division that we've said so far, even if it's somewhat of even if there is a clear winner there, there's really somewhat of a race, and it's been fun to follow. I don't really want to follow the NFC East. Like, it's just all just a mess. The NFC Least feels like it's very much so. Yet again, how you have this division playing out?
Yeah, for me, it really came down to two teams. That's the Eagles and that's the Cowboys. I think Jalen Hurts has a really good season. For this Eagles team. I think A.J. Brown's going to be a huge addition for not only for him, but also for Devontae Smith. I think a lot of times those breakout seasons are in your second year, especially for second-year wide receivers. So I think Devontae Smith could have a sneaky good year. Doug Peterson's the head coach there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Really good head coach. Right?
No, Sirianni.
Sirianni.
And Peterson's in Jacksonville.
Right. Okay. So Sirianni, but they had a decent year under him as well last year.
Yep.
I think this Eagles team is going to be good. I think this division is kind of going to beat up on each other, even though they're not the greatest division, though. And the Cowboys won this. I think they won 12 games last year. I don't think they win that many again.
No.
But I do think the Cowboys win this division. I think they have slightly more high-end talent between Dak, CD. I think Zeke is still a really good running back. He's not as explosive maybe as he used to be, but I think he's going to have a good year. And then they have Pollard as well. Dalton Schultz, I feel like he goes under the radar as one of the better tight ends.
He's getting his praise now. He's starting to.
And then the defense, I think, is going to be special between Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs leading it.
Random thought, sorry. Dalton Schultz is the most Cowboys name I've ever heard. He just had to play for Dallas. Like, there's no other way.
I think that's part of why he doesn't get talked about. It's kind of like boring.
It fits too perfect.
Yeah.
So it's just a random thought.
One of Dak's favorite targets, though, like the past.
Absolutely, he's really good. Really good.
Yeah, I don't think losing Amari Cooper, because Amari Cooper was a lot of boom or bust week to week. And some injury concerns. And just having a clear-cut CD Lamb at wide receiver 1, I think is going to be good for CD, good for Dak. And I believe Tolbert, the rookie wide receiver, is going to have to step in while Michael Gallup starts off the season injured. But, I think Dak's going to spread it around. Dak's still a top 10-ish QB in this league. So while I think the Eagles have a good season and can threaten, I think they can win the division too. I think the Cowboys win it. I got them at how many wins I got them at? I think I have them at 10 wins, so not as good as last year, 10-7, but I think they win the division.
I actually see the Eagles getting past that. I think the Eagles can win this division. I believe a little bit more in Jalen Hurts than most folks, I guess. I believe that the Eagles are gearing up to really make a push this year. They just traded for a cornerback on the defensive side. I forgot to blink on his name, but the Saints couldn't come to terms on a contract there, and he was ready to move on and find somewhere else to be. And the Eagles jumped on the opportunity to get him and traded some picks for him and got him over there. A.J. Brown being there, I believe, was a great addition. Devontae Smith, I like a whole lot, even out of Alabama. I believe he was going to be special in the league as well, and I think he's going to show that. Did he
win the Heisman?
Yeah, he won the Heisman. No, I'm just saying people thought he was going to be a fall off because he's small and stuff like that. Yeah. He showed a little bit of flash last year, but it wasn't as obviously as good as his college days. Yeah. I think he can get close to that again starting up this season as they really get rolling. There's some debate about I believe it was Miles Sanders in the backfield. Even with him being back there, I think with Kenneth Gainwell and others back there still. Even Jalen Hurts just passing the ball and spreading the ball around enough. I mean, they still work past that. Dallas Goedert, as you mentioned, I think you get a rundown about the squad. But yeah, I believe they have a good enough pieces there and are committed enough to get past the Cowboys, who have a lot of top end talent, as you said, but not to fully play on the Stephen A stuff. But they do, even with the Stephen A things or not, they do get in their way a whole lot. They have injuries on the O line. Zeke's getting a bit older, and I think there's a little bit concerned about him potentially. I read recently, and things of that nature. So I believe that there'll be enough room there. If the Cowboys get 10 wins, I believe the Eagles can get 11 or 12, can get the tiebreak above them. So I think the Eagles take a bet on them there. My dad, who just walked in for some water, will be happy about that. He's a big Eagles fan. So yeah, looking forward to how
real quick with the rest of the division. I think the Giants are the bottom of it. I think the Commanders will be okay, but not great. Like that's Carson Wentz to me now. Like he can have a good game. He has really bad games. He's just like okay. He's like an okay quarterback, but not good. So yeah, I think they'll be the third team, but I don't think they have a real shot. I think it's really between these two, Cowboys and the Eagles.
Yeah. Just a quick note since you brought it up. I guess I will actually give the nod to the Giants slightly because I believe it's time now. Well, we need Saquon to have some kind of bounce back in regards to him.
I think he does have a better season.
While the rest of the team has a lot of woes, I believe that Saquon is a type player that can elevate them enough to get the third spot in that division. I'm not saying they're gonna make a crazy run. They can get the third spot in that division. Also, I don't believe, but they need Kenny Galladay to go earn his money. They paid him all that money.
Not gonna happen, buddy.
It may not happen, but again, I believe he may show
one
enough.
Of the worst contracts in the NFL.
Yeah, but I believe he may show enough to get them the third spot in that division with the Commanders. Having Carson Wentz trying to figure that out. We just saw what was going on in the backfield with Brian Robinson. They're going to be without him for a little while. Antonio Gibson, I guess they don't have a whole lot of faith in him or are starting to fade away from him. So we'll see how that works out. And just some injuries there. I believe Chase Young is going to be out for a little while too. So as they work their things out, they'll give the Giants enough room. I'm not saying it's going to be, again, not crazy for the Giants, but enough to get the third seed in the division.
We've already spent too much time on the Giants.
Yeah, enough's enough with them. I just want to make a note on that, and we'll see how true that is. But that is it for all the division picks, and we will leave it at that. In regards to those predictions, let us know what you guys think in the comments and across all social media. Definitely love to talk with you guys about all of that going forward. And a lot of fun things there. So that's the division winners there. That's all the team stuff, and we'll get more to the games and all that going on. But now to go more individual, and we want to go to the awards this season. Before the season starts, make our predictions. We have our true winner, who we think is going to be the top of the list. It may be a legitimate candidate, and also a guy a sleeper who may jump ahead and be a surprise to folks. And can steal the award from another one of these top dogs. So start at the top. MVP. You raised about the Ravens early on. Is Lamar your MVP this season?
Well, I'm glad you asked, my brother. The safe pick, I guess, is like Josh Allen. Like that's like the chalky one, kind of. There's a lot of hype, like I said, behind Justin Herbert potentially being an MVP this year.
Yeah,
I got them winning the division, so I guess it's a possibility. But yeah, like I said, the safe pick, Josh Allen, but Lamar Jackson is really the narrative, I guess, that I'm pushing this year. Lamar Jackson for MVP. I think this Ravens team, like I said, is going to win this division convincingly. And I think they have the chance to make a solid run, and he's going to be the engine that makes this team go, as he always is. So I got Lamar. Yeah, I think Lamar can go for the MVP.
Absolutely. Surprisingly, I couldn't put him as my sleeper because
his like odds are like plus 2,000. Like it's crazy. Like he's real low, like in the MVP odds for me. So
I saw that.
Kind of a sleeper.
I have seen some of that, but also in some rankings, even if that's the case, he's still a top 7 guy in regards to MVP rankings.
Okay.
So he's not fully a sleeper to me. People acknowledge that he could be there. So I definitely see that. What I was gonna say was I actually have Herbert as my guy. I'm in on the hype as well. I believe if all things click there, they have enough pieces. The top quarterback on the best team, I think gets in the awards, win them type things. And if the Chargers get all things to click, as I believe they finally will do. Even though I did pick, I will say I did pick the Chiefs in that division.
Right.
I do believe that the Chargers.
He's winning. He ain't winning the MVP.
That I understand that, but I think with the Chargers making enough of a push still in that division, that Herbert can put up enough numbers to get that award. There's already enough hype there that if he gets close, he may have enough hype to push him and give him some extra votes there. So I have him as my main guy, and I actually put I stretched because again I didn't consider guys that were already top 10 voters as sleeper guys, so I was a little bit beyond that. I actually put Derrick Henry as my MVP.
I was going to ask if there was anyone non-quarterback that
he was my non-MVP guy. Jonathan Taylor is another guy in the discussion, of course, but I think. Jonathan Taylor has enough help with that team around him. Pittman and other guys there that he might not be crucial in that regard. But I think the Titans' season depends on Derrick Henry. If he's MVP King Henry again, they have a nice run again. But if not, they fall apart and go as they do. So I think I mentioned earlier about Lamar being a guy that is one of the few that can put the team on his back and carry them to the promised land. I believe Derrick Henry is one of those guys as well, even from the running back spot. And I think he is in another season in a situation to do so and could do enough to be considered for the award. He may not win it with all the good quarterback play across the league, but he'll make a nice push, and he's my sleeper for the pick there. So Herbert and Henry are my 2 guys for the MVP.
For sure. I'll piggyback off of that going into Offensive Player of the Year. I got Derrick Henry as Offensive Player of the Year. I think, like you said, typically MVP is going to be the best quarterback on the best team for the most part.
Right.
I think MVP does go to a QB, but I think Derrick Henry, if he has the season we believe he can and will have, I think he will lead this Titans team, and he will be the Offensive Player of the Year. I've heard a lot of people picking Justin Jefferson as potential Offensive Player of the Year.
He was my pick. I'll go ahead and say that now. I believe he has. He may not go for the Triple Crown like Cup did, but I think he's ready to take even another step from what he's already shown us in the league. Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the vanilla pick that I have here is Justin Jefferson. But I like Derrick Henry. I guess not really a dark horse. I don't know if you could call him a dark horse, but I like him as the not like highest favored pick to win it. Yeah.
This might not. I know I said about sleepers and trying to reach more. I don't know how much of a reach this will be because I believe. Oh no, I don't know if he won it last year, but he was definitely in the race. But I have Deebo Samuel as my sleeper. I believe Deebo has another good season. He's said in all interviews post signing his contract that all the talks about him not wanting to be the dual back that he called himself last year was overhyped, and he does want the ball as much as you want to give him the ball. And I think he'll definitely get the ball as much as he can this season, and will continue to carry this Niners offense alongside Trey Lance and all those boys. So I definitely think he can make a strong push it again for consideration there. So Jetta and Deebo are my 2 guys there for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay, cool.
Defensive Player of the Year, who do you have there?
Nothing crazy here. Aaron Donald, safe pick. But I like Michael Parsons as well. Like I said, I think the Cowboys defense is going to be elite once again. Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan, I have it flipped. I have Micah winning it and AD as the not really a sleeper, but I don't know. He's there. Yeah.
So we're in agreement essentially. Yeah. One of those guys, but yeah, I think Michael Parsons is special. Had a special rookie season. And I think he continues that trend. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So another good one. I'm now going to the rookies. I'll put the Rookie of the Year. Who do you have there?
Who do I have there? So this one I had kind of some trouble picking. I like Olave for the Saints. I I like Dobbs from the Packers if he's truly stepping up in camp like they say he is.
Yeah.
Sky Moore, I guess, more of the sleeper one because he's not really like wide receiver one there, but I think there's some hype around him and his raw speed and his hands.
Yeah.
And so I think he can have a really good season, kind of filling some of the role that Tyreek Hill played for the Chiefs. And will be a big reason why they don't have as much of a drop-off as some may predict. So I like those three guys. I think Kenny Pickett leads the odds because will probably
start and keeps the Steelers rolling. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, but I don't really have a strong conviction like on this award, really. I think a lot of guys could go for it.
You said a lot of receivers. I have 2 running backs as my picks. I got Breece Hall for the Jets. I think with the rookies, it's less about the team production, just more about which rookie shows out the most. I think Breece Hall is in a spot where he can really show on that Jets squad that's still finding their way.
You still have Michael Carter, who I think
Michael Carter too as well. Even in a dual back situation, I think he can get enough touches and has enough a flair there that he can get the win there. And then someone who popped up in the last couple of weeks, honestly, Dameon Pierce in Houston. Even with that team being beat up, I think that running back with Marlon Mack now out the way, Rex Burkhead's not going to do enough, I don't believe, to really take touches away from him, and he will get as much of the carries as he can get. And I think he's ready to handle that situation, and definitely can put up numbers there. And Houston, who needed a guy to lean on this season with Deshaun now out of the way, I'm fully there. So I have Pierce as that. And then my third guy, I had to mention him yet again, NFL young boy, George Pickens for the Steelers. Even though he's not in Pittsburgh, I think can put up a show. They have a lot of weapons there already. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Freiermuth, and Najee in the backfield. But I think even with all of that there, he still can find his way to get enough of an impact to at least being in the discussion for the award. So, yeah, George Pickett is the guy I wanted to mention with that also. So, yeah, it should be a fun race. There's a lot of rookies this year. So, good stuff there. On the defensive side, I think it's a 1-2 race, honestly, in my eyes. Who you have there?
Yeah, this one, I actually had to look up the players for that because I didn't know a whole lot of the defensive rookies, to be honest. Yeah. But Aiden Hutchinson, like the hometown guy in Detroit, seems like kind of the vanilla pick. He was the number 2 overall pick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. D. Lyman, I believe. So I think he's got a shot at it. But the fun one for me is Sauce Gardner.
Okay.
Just as the name Sauce.
Absolutely.
But I think he's gonna have a good year for the Jets for sure. So
yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to root for him. So
I actually put him as my 1B. He might have more hype on boards. Might be 1A in the race. But he's more my second pick. My first pick actually is the number 1 pick, Trayvon Walker in Jacksonville. I actually like him a lot. He's shown a lot of great flashes in the preseason already, and I think can really make his impact felt this season for Jacksonville squad, trying to turn things around for the better after all the mess that they had last year. So I think people kind of batted an eye a little bit when he got picked. They were like, "Wait, who's this guy?" He wasn't a flashy name. Aiden Hutchinson definitely is the guy that had more of the attention. But Trayvon, I think is a special talent that will definitely got people's attention this season. I think he'll get the award. Hutchinson actually is the third guy in the race to me. As good as he is, I think the other two have shown more flash already and will build off of that momentum to get recognition for that award there. So Trayvon, Sauce, and then Aiden there.
I'm gonna have to get some of that sauce from
I saw that. My brother got the sandwich on and say mess up his stomachs. I don't know if I want to get it just yet.
Yeah, Buffalo Wowies can do that to you.
Once they get all the kinks worked out, I'll go buy and get some wings with the sauce on there. So looking forward to it. So another fun race there, defensive rookie of the year. I'm not going more to the bigger awards. Before going to player of the year. Yeah, comeback player of the year. I wanted to go there. Who do you have in that race?
This one I had probably the least conviction on. I think there's a lot of guys that can get it. Derrick Henry being one of them. Michael Thomas, if he's healthy, is possible. Allen Robinson potentially has a huge year in LA.
Here's what I may have messed up real quick. I'll jump ahead. My apologies. Does Lamar count for this award?
I would think so.
Because he was out for like 6-7 weeks, right?
I would think so. I just think he would probably be in the discussion for like MVP or offensive player.
Well, to that point, like I said, I don't think he wins MVP. because I believe Herbert and guys like that may steal it. But I do think he'll be enough in the race that it's kind of like when Ja won Most Improved last year or whatever. He'll be good enough still to get something. So I think he'll end up being comeback player of the year if he qualifies for that. He was out, like I said, for like 6-7 weeks last year, and that's why the Ravens missed the playoffs. So if he qualifies, he's the guy there. And then I also had for a while as well, also too, right? Jameis was out last year.
He was.
Yeah, so he was the name that came to mind. So
that's what I said. There's a lot of names here. Like I also have Juju. I think Juju has a huge year with KC. Yeah. After a down one and injured one in Pittsburgh, and then Saquon, who you mentioned earlier, he has to have one of those seasons at this point because the clock's ticking a little bit.
He was actually my third name on here. I had Saquon too, so if he can bounce back,
and then of course there's CMC as well. I didn't even put on here, but if he has the year that he can, like his ceiling is higher than anyone else really in the NFL.
There's a lot of fear fantasy wise about him. Like I don't draft him. He's on my do not touch list. Yeah. But I think in real life he could have a very solid season and can reinsert himself as one of the top dogs everybody believes he is. So I hear you in that.
Yeah. So I don't really have a pick for that one, to be honest. There's a lot of guys.
Very much a toss up. But I think we believe that all those guys are in the discussion there and should be a fun race. So good one there. The last real award is Coach of the Year. Who you have as Coach of the Year there? Who you have as your picks?
The vanilla one is Staley, but I'm really high on this Ravens train, so I'm going with John Harbaugh. Man.
I'm with you there. I got Harbaugh as well.
Yeah.
I really like the Ravens squad. People said we already deep dived it. Yeah, I think they turned the corner and right the wrongs of last year and get the dubs, and Harbaugh's rewarded for that. So I'm with you.
He's a player's coach. They love him. They trust him. I think he's a good coach too. Like he's taking them to the Super Bowl. So
absolutely.
I really like this Ravens team through and through to have a real bounce back year. Didn't even talk about like all the injuries they had.
Exactly. That was the biggest part.
So
who's your sleeper in that?
I guess he's kind of the sleeper because I didn't really have another one. Like the real sleeper, I guess, would be like Dan Campbell, even though he's getting hype now.
I think they'll have a turnaround. I like the Lions as well, but I don't think it'll be enough to win the award.
Exactly. I don't think the Lions will be good enough.
Sorry, someone that I did have winning the award though was Sirianni for the Eagles. I did have with the Eagles turning things around and believing they win the division. I think that he can get the award there and be a sleeper pick for that. So he was who I picked. Those are all the awards there. We did a rundown for those. We've gone down divisions, gone down awards, all of that. Those are the official ones. I want to throw two more in there, and this is kind of off top of the head. You might not have these written down or anything. Sure. I saw that they have I think it's like a FedEx Air Player of the Year for the quarterback with the most yards, the pass yards for the season. Okay. Who would you have picked for the guy that passed for the most yards this year?
Interesting. I have a name that comes to mind. He would probably be the sleeper, though. I'm trying to think, like, who would be the clear favorite for me? Probably Josh Allen.
Correct.
Josh Allen or Herbert is probably. And I might even lean Herbert there just because I like Herbert's weapons a little bit more than Allen's.
Right.
Receiving
and he runs a little bit less, too.
Yeah. So maybe Herbert, and then the sleeper would be Kirk Cousins.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes.
If you think Justin Jefferson is going Offensive Player of the Year, you think Kirk Cousins is going to be airing it out a lot.
Well, yes. I think he targets Justin a lot, and Justin gets a lot of touches.
I don't think it's just Justin either. They still have Thielen, who he already has a great rapport.
What I was going to say was in comparison to other units, because my sleeper was Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr airs it out. That's all he does. Yeah. I don't think they don't like Josh Jacobs that much back there. Zamir White, who's the backup, they lean on him too much. Yeah. So I think it's just Derek Carr jumping back 40 times a game.
I like that too.
So I think in comparison to Kirk Cousins, he ends up passing for a little bit more and could be a major guy for that one. So I see what you're saying about Kirk Cousins. I think he's close. But I think Allen, Herbert, Carr are ahead of him in that race there. So because also he has Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin Cook's going to get plenty of touches there to take some of that from him too. So I think the other three I'm getting ahead of him there. So that'll be a fun one I wanted to add in. And then in the same lane, the ground player, I think this might be the FedEx one. It's like UPS, and I don't know whatever their branding is, but the ground player of the year for the most rushing yards. Who you have for the most rushing yards this year?
I think we both have Derrick Henry.
We do.
I think based off what
we
talked about. Jonathan Taylor that's not even really a fun pick, really, because like it's just what he did last year. I think he could do similar things. So
right. My fun pick was Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I don't think that
because they're not going to pass a whole lot just during the start of the season.
I think teams are going to try to load up on him. That's the thing.
Yes, but we've seen pause. We've seen him handle the load, so I think he can deal with that enough.
Relax, Paul.
He can play up enough numbers, even with the box stacked against him.
Some injury concerns me a little bit too.
Sure, but I think he's shown that he can handle. he can handle the load. I don't know what else to say. He can handle it, man. I think he'll put up enough numbers to be considered. He can. I
don't know. Push for the award there. Like how you talking about it right now. That's a fair pick too. I guess who would be like a fun one there?
Saquon was the other fun one.
No, I don't see it.
Saquon,
Dalvin. I don't think the Giants are good enough and will open up enough holes for him. Jesus. It's hard to talk about running backs.
Yeah. Any other picks there? Any sleeper picks?
Dark horse? Fun one there. I'm just trying to think about Eckler. I don't think gets enough on the ground. He's a lot of a pass catcher too. I'm trying to think of who would like the top running backs. But there's a real drop off after the elite ones.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry is really the most fun.
Here's a name. He's not exact. He's in that middle tier where he's a guy that he's mid tier but could win this award. He's one of them sleeper type picks. I like David Montgomery, to be honest. I think the Bears like Khalil Herbert more in that offense, so that might throw it off. But Montgomery shows flashes, and that offense isn't good enough passing wise to lean up on fields just yet. I think he can get enough touches there, and he has enough wiggle to get enough yards there to be somewhat.
Sleeper. I'm not super confident in this, but sleeper, I'll say James Conner. I think he's the clear RB1 there.
What do you think about the Broncos running back? There's a lot of hype about.
I still don't like the split carries kind of with like him and Melvin Gordon. I'm not sure that Javonte Williams is going to be the clear.
Javonte Williams, yes.
I like him a lot. I think he's very talented, but
got it.
No, I wouldn't say him just because they still split with Melvin Gordon kind of.
I hate to do this. What? You think Lamar gets some consideration for that? He might fill up some yards. I'm just saying.
I think he's going to have a lot. Like he may be top 12, like in rushing as far as for teams go. Like I think he may have more rushing yards than some other teams' running backs.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
just a fun. I hate to even do that, but just for the fun of it, whatever. Yeah. But just a couple other things I saw there, official awards there. So definitely will be fun things. Another thing I will say while on top of awards, we're gonna have our own fun version of awards. We're trying to figure out the name for it still. We're gonna have some NFL hyperboles. We're gonna have, I won't say what they are yet. Y'all ain't gonna be able to steal it from me, but we're gonna have some things throughout the season. We look at other things that go on the field, on and off the field a little bit, to debate and give out some awards for. So excited about all of that.
Did you want to do like your picks for Super Bowl?
Super Bowl pick. I think we said that a while ago. I had Ravens and
I didn't hear if you made a pick.
I think I had Ravens, Packers, something like that. We said that.
No, for this year.
No, we said after we had like our way too early Super Bowl predictions. After the last Super Bowl, we did it.
Oh, that's what you. Oh, but I'm talking about today, not 3 months.
Well, I'll still stand on it. I still have Ravens. I think I said Ravens, Packers, something like that. Ravens, somebody
before Devontae got traded too.
Ravens, Bucks, something like that. Ravens, somebody. Ravens winning it. I have the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. Okay. So whoever they want to play the NFC, whatever. But I have the Ravens getting passed through it all and winning this year. So that's my pick. Who'd you have?
As high as I am on the Ravens, I think I just realized I didn't put the NFC champion here. I didn't pick them yet. See?
But kind of like whoever. I think it's the AFC's to.
But I think the Bills. There. I think the Bills actually do make it to the Super Bowl. I think the Bills. I actually think it's the Bills Chiefs in the AFC. AFC championship.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. It's a dogfight all around, so it's possible, very possible.
So I like the Bills there coming out of the AFC. I got the Bucks and the Rams in the NFC title game. Like I said, I think that the Packers' regular season success and fizzle out again.
Okay.
I think Brady. I think this was Brady's last year. We didn't even. I don't know.
Say it again.
I said, do you think this is Brady's last year?
I don't care, man. He doesn't leave, so we'll say it's his last year, and he'll come back again anyway. So whatever.
You still the scorned.
Yes, he won't go away. So I don't care anymore at this point. Do what you want.
Yeah, because the Rams, I don't think the Rams like repeat kind of thing. I think they'll be in discussion again, but I'll say Bills Bucks. Not really. It's kind of chalky.
Yeah.
But I think Bills Bucks, and I might lean Brady again, dude. I might lean Brady again.
Do what you gotta do, man. That's your pick. Stand on it.
In a Super Bowl scenario, like as much as Josh Allen is him, like you said, I would probably favor Brady a little bit.
Brady is still him.
Brady gets ring number 8. I guess that's what I'm picking as of right now. Yeah.
All right, that's fine. I hope you're wrong. That's all I'll say on that. But yeah, those are all our award picks and division picks and Super Bowl predictions leading into the season. Definitely a lot of fun things across the board. Again, follow us online everywhere. We're gonna be sharing a lot of these clips everywhere. Be sure to hop in the comments and let us know what you think about our picks. Hop in the comments here, of course, on you guys watching on YouTube and all of that. Appreciate all the love there. We get a division picks, award picks. Now let's just get to where we are today. We're here right before the start of week 1. It's definitely going to be a fun start to the season. A lot of good games across the board. We will highlight us being the LA boys here in LA. We will highlight the Rams and Chargers games, as well as my Ravens. We'll talk about them a little bit in depth. But beyond that, we're just going to do a quick rundown of everything and give quick picks along with the spreads for each game. I'm going to see and see what we have to say about those and go from there. So week 1, full of great games. Bills, Rams. Well, sorry, working it out for our first time. Mm-hmm. We'll go through all the games, just quick picks right now, and we'll circle back to the LA teams and the Ravens at the end. Mm-hmm. So to start off, Bills, Rams. Who you got in that? Bills 2.5. My 2.5 for the spread there.
Bills.
I'll take the Rams in that, even with Stafford working it out. I'll take the Rams at home. I'm getting their rings, I believe, and all that type of stuff. I'll take the Rams there. Moving on, Ravens, Jets.
Ravens.
With the 7-point spread.
Like a beat down, though. Like way, like definitely over on that. Like I think probably 2-3 score game. Yeah.
I won't say 2-3. I'll give some respect to my former.
You thinking 3-4 score?
I'll give respect to my former elite quarterback Joe Flacco if he starts and say it's 1 or 2 points, two touchdowns in the end.
I saw one of those interceptions he threw in preseason where he threw it right to the linebacker.
Yeah, I did see that. But still covering the spread. I will take the Ravens, of course, there. So definitely that. Where did it go? Sorry. There we go. Okay. Still taking the Ravens in that. Moving on, Saints, Falcons. Saints at 5.5 on that one.
Saints. It may be a close-ish game. I don't know, but I like the Saints. Yeah.
Sure. Eagles at Lions. Eagles at 4 points for the spread.
I think this is gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
A little tough. I like the Lions. This one's at Detroit too.
Yep.
That'll be tough for them after all this hype this summer to lose the first game.
Right.
It'll be tough for the Lions at home. I'll say the Lions.
I think I'm sticking with Eagles in that. I think they have to get wins like this early on to get ahead, as I believe they will.
Yeah, I think they win the division.
Yeah. So I have Eagles there. Niners at Bears. Niners 7-point spread.
Niners. I think it's a close game though. I like how Josh Fields has played in the preseason. But yeah, I think Niners win it.
Yeah, Niners with the points as well. I like the Bears, but not enough to get
two second-year quarterbacks. I think they're still working out the kinks.
Yeah, but there's a lot more around them than just that. Sure. So yeah,
like you said, you like David Montgomery.
Right. I understand that too, but I like Debo a whole lot too. So they both got pieces. Absolutely. So yeah, it should be a good one. Niners and Bears just did. Steelers at Bengals. Bengals 6.5 point spread.
I like the Bengals.
I like the Bengals as well.
Trubisky starting week 1. I like the Bengals.
Yeah. Simple as that. Patriots at Dolphins. Dolphins at 3.5.
I like the Pats.
I like the Dolphins. I think Tua comes out and shows a little bit of a flash early on.
I don't like him against the Pats defense and Belichick.
Yeah, I know that too, but I think that's fading a little bit, and the Dolphins can capitalize. So yeah, I Dolphins there. Jaguars at Commanders. Commanders at 2.5.
Nasty game. Commanders though.
I like Jacksonville in that, to be honest with you. I like Jacksonville.
Interesting.
They have some work to do still, but I think this is a game that they can still early on in the season.
I'm interested to see, because we didn't talk about some of these teams. I'm interested to see how Jacksonville played and how specifically Trevor Lawrence is.
I still believe in them.
So
yeah, I believe in them still, and they have some weapons now. I don't believe Christian Kirk deserves all that money, but he is good enough. He's solid enough.
Wide receiver 1, but he's solid.
Yeah, he's solid enough, and they have ETN back in the backfield now, or I believe they should. James Robinson and all that. Yeah, so I'll take the Jaguars in that one. A highlight game for some folks: Browns at Panthers.
It'll be fun. I'm definitely gonna try to watch some of that game.
Yeah,
I'll be on red zone for sure. But
yeah, Panthers the 2-point spread there.
Give it the Panthers for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, like I don't think
in Carolina.
Nah. In Carolina, Baker got all the narrative. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take that with you as well. Yeah, I think CMC also has a point to prove too. So I think he does that. Yeah,
we know he likes to go off in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah. Go ahead and have your early season win. Go ahead and take that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take Panthers there. Colts at Texans. Colts with a 7-point spread.
Colts.
Yeah. Giants at Titans. Titans at 5.5.
Titans.
Packers at Vikings. Packers at just 1.5.
Packers by 2 scores.
Packers by 2 scores. I'll take Packers, but they'll get the spread, but not by as much as you're saying. So yeah, that's a good one.
Offense, we talked about like how the offense is supposed to see like significant uptick, but the Packers one of the better defenses in the league.
And they always have the Vikings numbers, so it just it just happens. Chiefs at Cardinals. Chiefs 6.5.
Good game. I think I like the Cardinals actually. I don't think the Chiefs get off to like as slow a start as they did last year, but I don't think they like start off humming either. And I think the Cardinals usually get off to good starts for their season. So I'm gonna go with Cardinals.
If I take the Chiefs, but think the Cardinals break 6.5,
yeah.
What is that? Yeah. I think Chiefs win.
I don't know what to call that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what to call it, but I think Chiefs win, but it's close. Yeah. So that's a good one to watch. Raiders at Chargers. Chargers at 3 points.
Chargers, and it might be just 3 points. I think all these division games are gonna be good in the AFC West. So yeah,
I'll roll with that. I know they want to make an early impact with Devontae and show him off and all of that, but I think the Chargers have a point to prove as well. At home as well, they want to make their presence felt in LA. So definitely will do that. Sunday night game: Bucks at Cowboys. Bucks 2.5.
Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks 2.5 as well. I think even through their woes, the Cowboys have the woes in themselves, and I think that the Bucks will do enough to get that dub. And then Monday night, Broncos at Seahawks. Broncos 6.5.
Yeah, Broncos beat down.
Got it. Yep, I'm with you there. Broncos beat down. So let's ride. Should be a fun should be a fun week one. should be a fun week one. Excited for all of that. We did a quick rundown of all the games this week. Let us know you guys' picks as well in the comments and all of that. Definitely want to talk about those with you. Definitely fun things there. So now I'm taking a little bit of a step back. As we said, we want to do a little bit more of a deep dive of our main teams here. We're here in LA, as we said. We want to make sure we cover our LA teams more in depth. We'll keep a close eye on these teams throughout all the season and all of that going forward. And LA sports across the board. Well, you'll hear that's a common thread for those that are new here. Rams, Chargers, Lakers, Clippers a little bit. I might sneak some Kings in there if they win.
Yeah, you're gonna try.
I'm gonna try. I'm definitely gonna try. Y'all will see. Y'all will see. But yeah, definitely covering our California teams in depth. Want to talk about all of that. So mainly here with LA, Rams, Chargers. Where you want to start with talking about them in a little bit more in depth?
It doesn't really matter to me.
All right, let's start with the guys on your shirt. We got the Rams. Let's start with them. Just their expectations for the season. There's a lot of talks about them, and you talked about it a little bit early on, just in regards to the Super Bowl hangover. There's a lot of talk about the health of the squad, just in general. Just what do you think about this squad this season? You kind of gave a little bit of a preview, but going more in depth there. What do you think about what's going on there?
Do you want me to answer like a specific question?
Yeah. So to be more specific, Stafford and his shoulder is a big topic right now. Do you think his shoulder can sustain? And if not, do you think that's the determining factor for this season?
I mean, I think when your player is the one throwing the ball, I think you have at least a little bit of concern with a shoulder injury.
Right.
But him being healthy for week 1 and ready to go, I think is a good sign. And I don't think he is, like, I guess on the older side. He's like not washed by any means. He just had a great season. But like he's starting to get up there in age, so there definitely is some cause for concern with the shoulder injury for your starting quarterback. But I think he'll be able to manage. I think I forget when their bye week is, but that's going to be crucial. They had that kind of fall off right before the bye week last year, where they started playing some pretty poor football. And just
quick note, sorry, he's only 34, so. In the new NFL, for passing quarterbacks like that, he's young.
It's still older.
It's older, of course. But
see Brady and Rodgers, of course, but not everyone's.
He has some legs still. He has some legs still. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think he's got a couple years left in him based off how he played last year.
Yeah.
But shoulder concern, I guess, plays a part into it. But I think the bye week's gonna be crucial. Like I said, we're starting to maybe get a little run down or whatever, and kind of had some off games, and out of the bye week they started playing a little bit better football.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think I'm too worried. It appears that he's kind of bothered by the questions about his shoulder too, and is ready to prove that he's 100% ready to go.
As I said earlier, is his shoulder the determining factor for this season?
I mean, it would be. I would think it would be, like, because if it's not healthy enough, then that's kind of a death sentence. I think for them.
I don't know what other big question marks there are for this team. To be honest, I think everywhere else,
really,
Dell out and things like that.
Yeah.
For
me, I think it would be a little bit the defense, a little bit. Like Aaron Donald, of course, is still him, and Jalen Ramsey is still one of the better cornerbacks in the league.
They lost Bond, but got Bobby Wagner.
Exactly. So, a little bit of a decline, I guess, in the defense. They're a little bit older too, but I think they're still going to be a good unit. So, yeah, I guess Stafford would be the biggest question mark if his health is a concern, because if he goes down, then I don't know if they still have Wofford or whatever. Like, I don't know who the backup QB would be, but that's crucial as far as getting Kupp and Robinson involved.
Yeah, people were saying they immediately called the Niners for Jimmy G, but it's like, I don't know. I think they want to keep him as a security blanket, and also I don't know if they even accept that call. It's like, hey, you're a rival.
Yeah,
we want to help you out.
Division.
Yeah. So it's like people are assuming that Stafford's fine. We'll just go get Jimmy G. That's not as
that's not a
obvious
guarantee.
as people are making it seem. So I think if there's any major X factor for this team, it definitely would be Stafford's shoulder, because of what could be what could happen if he does go down. So definitely keep an eye on that. But as you said, he's trying to dispel a lot of that. I think he will do so in week 1 and going forward. I think they'll be in good shape.
Yeah.
So while he should be stable in the backfield along with them, Akers is back. And what do you think about Akers and his health as he started to have another good season?
It seems like it hasn't been 100% clear, like, how healthy he is, like whether he's completely ready to go. I think he is supposed to be playing week 1. I believe Darrell Henderson is also going to be active and getting some snaps. And do they have one other running back as well, or is it just mainly them two?
I'm blanking on his name. They have somebody, but I don't know who it is.
I feel like there is one other guy. They had Sony Michel, but I think he's on the Dolphins now or something.
Yeah, he's gone now. Yeah.
So it may just be them two primarily out of the backfield. But Akers coming off an Achilles injury, so that's huge. A lot of guys across sports don't have quite the same burst they had coming off Achilles. So that'll be tough. He's on the younger side, so that may be to his benefit. But I think regardless if it's him or if it's Henderson, they'll be all right. As we saw, they won a Super Bowl. So, and Akers wasn't great really in that playoff run. He had 2 or 3 fumbles in that Buccaneers game too. So his question mark isn't as big of a question mark as Stafford's is for me. But if he's on and he's playing well, he does have some talent for sure. So obviously they would hope that he's got that burst back and he's 100% healthy and he's taking care of the football. But I'm not as worried about him as I would be in Stafford. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, because of who's around him, I'm not too concerned about him. I think they have plenty of room to ease him back in and all of that. So I think he'll be just fine. But I think when he does get rolling, he definitely will be a vital piece for this team. I'm excited to see him at full health. So yeah, I'm excited for Akers and all of that. The other point is not really a major question, but just something to keep an eye on, as we kind of discussed. You would think we see another triple crown from Cooper Kupp.
I think I touched on that earlier. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't think we get another triple crown, especially because, like we talked about, Justin Jefferson is probably going to lead one of those categories.
Right.
Or Jamar Chase. I think he's got the opportunity to do that as well. Devontae Adams. There's other guys I think that'll threaten that, and I don't think Kupp has quite a dominant season as he had last year. While it'll still be top 3 receiver potentially, I don't think it's top 1 in everything. So slight drop off, but he's still going to be elite. Yeah,
I agree. How much of an impact will A-Rob have alongside him replacing Odell?
Massive. I think he potentially, because I think I talked about him at least last year, how I think he's been like one of the better receivers in the league, but has had the worst track record as far as quarterback play. I think like he would be talked about in the discussion with these top 5 receivers had he had a better quarterback earlier on in his career.
Baltimore fans were fighting hard. We were campaigning all season. A-Rob to Baltimore, all that stuff. Okay. There's a couple of restaurants out there that were sending them tweets like, "Hey, free food for life if you come to the Ravens," and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But the Rams ended up making the call and got that done. Seeing a couple guys that we had eyes on, Bobby Wagner included. So was what it was. But yeah, I think it's a great fit. With Odell out, I think he's a guy that, as you said as well, has been very underrated and can shine in that now number 2 role with maybe not as much eyes on him. He can really show off. So yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be huge, and even if they don't get Odell, but if they do get Odell too, I think maybe a lot of mouths to feed, but I think they all can be successful.
Not really a bad thing. I think Odell has shown that he can humble himself on a winning team as well. So if he's there with A-Rob and Kupp, he will. Even last year, he kind of humbled himself into a role, but still damn near got Super Bowl MVP had he not got hurt. Right. So he still can find his way on fully stacked rosters. So Odell or not, I think this Ram squad is in great position, and looking forward to all of that is coming their way. So you talked about defense already, and I'll leave it at that. That's the Rams. A little preview for the Rams. Moving on to our other LA squad, the Chargers. Just our first question, as we already said, is Herbert him? You believe he's going to show out this year, or you think where he's going to kind of be underperform expectations? I'll say for now.
He may underperform expectations just because the expectations are like MVP for him.
Got it.
So he may slightly underperform that. I do think he has a really good season. I don't love some of the love he gets. Like me personally, and you may disagree with that, and that's fine. I think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than him personally. They're always talked about right next to each other when people rank them. And I don't know about most. Oh, you said all around?
Like rankings and all of that?
QB rankings, yeah. They're usually like right next to each other in people's rankings, but I like Burrow more.
I'm not mad at that. Because I like Joe a lot,
I think
too.
Herbert's got a little bit more arm strength for sure, but I like Burrow, just slight edge. So I think there are...
Joe got that dog in him?
Absolutely. You can never question Joe's dog, ever.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I liked him a lot, so I'm not mad at that sake.
So I think there are, let's see, Burrow, Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen. So I think there's 5 quarterbacks better than Herbert. So for me personally, I think he has an amazing season. I think this Chargers team is going to be really good. I don't think he's an MVP this year. And that's not to say that he can't be elite, but I think there's guys that are better than him and may have slightly better seasons.
Mm-hmm. We never preached it earlier, so we don't gotta have official debate in that regard. But just in regards to him just answering that question, I think he's definitely in position to show that he could be it. So if the Chargers, my other question would be, can the Chargers get out their own way? If the Chargers stay out their own way, the sky's the limit for them, and I think Herbert can have all the success in the world. So as we have seen for many years now, the Chargers always have injuries at the worst timing, or make the wrong play call at the worst time, and all that kind of stuff. So if they just go out their own way, Herbert can be him, and this team can have all the success that they desire. So we'll see how that plays out. But just in regards to more of a preview for them, do you think that beyond Herbert, do you think we see enough consistency from Eckler, Allen, and Williams, his key pieces around him, to continue to play up to the expectation that they have?
I think I'm 100% confident you get consistency from Eckler. Only thing would be injury concern, but he was very healthy last year. So I'm confident Eckler. I've never really been confident in Mike Williams' consistency.
No, he hasn't shown enough just yet.
Very much boom or bust.
Literally.
And he had more boom than bust last year, but I'm not confident in him like week in, week out, every single week of the season. I am more confident in Keenan Allen, but because you have Mike Williams there, you have Josh Palmer there, you have I forget who their tight end is. It Parham? Their tight end?
Parham, I think. Yeah, somebody like that.
Because you have other mouths to feed, that's the only reason I'm questioning on Keenan Allen's consistency, like whether he gets 10 targets a game. I don't know that he gets that every game. So I guess I would say that I do have questions about the wide receivers' consistency, but I think Eckler, you can bank on having a really solid season and having solid weeks, week in, week out.
Yeah, a lot more questions about them than Herbert. I think Herbert stepped to the plate this year, but if these guys don't answer the call with them, it could be shaky. So we'll see how they play, but I do agree with you in regards to how you described it, with Eckler being ready for the challenge, and then Allen and Williams be the ones to look at. So definitely going to be interesting there. You kind of answered it, but just to ask officially, you think Mike Williams is the number one now for that squad over Allen?
For me, it would be Keenan.
You still think it's Keenan? Okay, I agree there. But I think just how you worded it earlier, I thought it seemed otherwise. But I'm with you. So that was it there. Then we kind of talked about them staying out their own way. And the last thing, what do you think about their defensive upgrades? They got Khalil Mack now. They got, I think, Josh Jackson, I believe his name is, from the Patriots.
J.C. Jackson?
J something. They got Wyndham J Jackson over there.
I think J.C. Jackson, the quarterback.
Jackson, Derwin James finally got paid and ready to show out. So they got a very stout on the line, all that. They have a very stout defense. Even they answered the call this year and show. I do think, to answer officially, are they a top 5 defense this year?
Let's see. Bills, Packers, Colts, I think, are in there. Ravens can be in there, bounce back. Saints can be in there too. They still have a lot of their bets. They'll threaten for it. They'll be in that 5 discussion.
Got it. Chargers, okay. So if they do that with with Herbert playing like that, they are. There aren't many teams where you could take them as a fantasy team and be happy with having that roster as your lineup. If you have a Herbert as your quarterback, Eckler as your RB1, Allen as your wide receiver 1, Williams, all that kind of rundown. Maybe besides tight end, you might want another tight end. Right. But beyond that, I think you'd be set with them. They're fantasy gold potentially. So we'll see if they live beyond fantasy and can bring some of that to life. You can have some real success this season, and really make an impact here in LA, because as we said with Jason Jones last season for our discussions, they really have no imprint still here. So they're still trying to find their way. And
especially we'll now the Rams want to.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if now is the time for them to make their presence felt. So definitely looking forward to what's going on with the Chargers there. So it should be fun. But that's both the LA squads, as we said. Definitely good discussion with all of that. We'll make sure, as I mentioned at the top of it, that we'll stay on top of all LA squads and discussions there. And also, as a Ravens fan, as I said, I want to discuss them a little bit. You mentioned that you're very high on them. I'm high on them, but I'm not trying to show it, because I've had many seasons where I'm high on them and things come crumbling down. So
I think I broke the curse last year, because there was a lot of times I would pick the Ravens and they lose.
That is true, but I'm still going to temper myself just to wait to see how things play off to start. But I'm excited for this Ravens team even still, and looking forward to what's going on with them this year. What do you think about the Lamar contract discussion? Are the talks overhyped, or is that going to be a big deal as the season goes on?
I think it'll continue to be a big deal, especially with there being some discussion that Miami could potentially be a destination for him if this season doesn't go how they want it to with Tua, that kind of thing. Him going like back home, I think, because I believe he's from Florida, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I believe the Ravens also are able to franchise tag him for a year or two.
They can do that.
So it's like, as much as there is a rush to get the contract done, and for all those that are in support of Lamar Jackson as we are, you want him to get his full money this year, and that's what all the talk is about.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Ravens, he's going to be here. So I see the
Miami Dolphins. You're 100% confident that he's here no matter what.
I will say 98%. Like, sure, I see the Dolphins talk, and he's one of the few guys. Like, there's not many guys in the league. Like basketball, I like players in basketball. Like, I guess I'm a Laker fan, but I like Paul George and other guys or whatever. In football, it's really just the Ravens. But Lamar is one of them guys where it's like, as much as he's on my team and I love him, I want him to be here forever. If he goes somewhere else, I'll still support him fully. Yeah. So if he ends up going to the Dolphins, something like that, and gets paid, I'm all for it. I'm not mad at the situation. The Ravens messed up, and we'll discuss that when it happens. But I want to see Lamar get what he deserves. And if that ends up being in Miami, then so be it. But in regards to the Ravens, I think they are in a situation where he's going to be here regardless, and will be here for at least a couple more seasons. However that franchise tag system works out. So
you asked about like whether it'll continue to be a discussion, and I think it will, though, regardless of if he ends up getting franchise tagged or like if it just continues like how it's been, because like it's been a discussion for Lamar too. Like he responds to stuff on social media like they didn't offer me that kind of thing, and
right.
So like it's clearly like maybe not like maybe once the season starts it won't be like the focal point or in the forefront of his mind then, because I know he's focused on winning, and he has made that clear, and Harbaugh has made that clear, but I think right now it's priority number 2, I guess, for him, like getting that contract for sure, because he's deserving of it. He's already been a league MVP unanimously.
I don't know why I'm so nonchalant about it, but like I don't think it's a major priority. And not that because you want to secure Lamar. Of course you want to secure Lamar. Mm-hmm. But I think the product on the field and just what comes with that should be much more of discussion. Mm-hmm. As much as there's talk about Lamar getting paid, wanting to see Lamar take the next step, or not even next step because he's already proven. But we just want to see this Ravens squad be back and really contend.
Next passer, I guess.
Sure that. But even just beyond Lamar, just the Ravens in general.
For
wanting to see them take this next leap, stay healthy, and make a real Super Bowl run and things of that nature. I think that should be more of a discussion rather than Lamar getting paid or not.
It should be, but I don't think that.
Yeah, but we know how media games are played.
Yeah.
So I mean, for whatever reason, I'm not focused on that. Like I think he'll be here and he's going to be playing this season. So regardless of if he's paid or not, he said he's committed to this season and playing it out. We both have said we have high hopes for this season for him and this squad. So if they keep the main focus as the main focus, which is a football phrase folks like to say, if they do that, I think the contracts will work itself out. And if anything, just adds to the reason to pay him later on, and he'll more reason to get him the money he deserves. So I'm not really focused on the money side of things. I think that works itself out. I'm more focused on this team just reaching expectations that we have for them. And I'm looking forward to see how it plays. So to that point, just looking forward to Lamar and his health and seeing how he plays. And then the receiving core, I like who we have there, but we still have to see them execute beyond just the praise that we have for them. Bateman definitely is a guy that could fill in that number 1 spot very well. I like Duvernay a whole lot. Isaiah Likely, the rookie has shown that he could fill in and be a nice 1-2 punch alongside Mark Andrews. And then Dobbins is still coming back. Gus Edwards is still coming back. We have Mike Davis there instead of Mark Ingram. So
we'll just see. Drake too.
Say that again.
On Kenyon Drake too.
Kenyon Drake for the moment is there too. The Raiders didn't want him, so we took him. We have pieces there. It's just execution. So you have high hopes for them. I said a few things now regarding receiver play and running backs and all that. Just what do you think about the pieces around Lamar as they go into this season?
Yeah, I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, I'm still kind of disappointed in the Ravens for not really putting a true like wide receiver 1 like around him.
Sure.
Still, like, because like I was thinking about it too, like the conversations about his passing ability and whatnot, but we really haven't seen him. Like, if any other quarterback was only given Mark Andrews and like Marquise Brown, like, I don't think we would be like blaming the quarterback for the struggles. Like, Mark Andrews is elite, and we've seen that. Like, that's why he feeds him like he does. I think Bateman is good and can.
It's funny with that. Sorry, real quick. It's funny with that because the rebuttal from the media folks is always, well, they drafted first round picks and they gave him a first round receiver with on his team, but it's like when they technically do a first round receiver on the team, but when it's the wrong pick, that definitely means something. So when you take Marquise Brown over DK Metcalf or people like that, that has to have some weight. So folks are like, oh well, yes, Lamar, they want to give Lamar help. They drafted receivers and they drafted tight ends, but it's like they had
just a lot saying of that, like that would be a completely different dynamic if they had DK Metcalf on the outside. Yeah, that would change things tremendously.
Exactly. So as much as we have had the picks and have tried to get guys, we have admittedly whiffed on a few of those. So we have to acknowledge that as well. So that plays its part, and hopefully some of the guys we have now step up to the plate to help him out, since we have not got him. Someone who's already certified as a true number one for him.
Yeah, but why I'm so high on the Ravens is almost purely Lamar Jackson, because I think he like transcends even like how good or not so good the roster is currently, because he has the elite Mark Andrews, he has solid Bateman potentially making a leap this year as well, but beyond that, it's not a whole lot of elite offensive skill players around him. So I think it's going to be largely him, and he's just like that dynamic.
Absolutely.
As we've seen, he's carried them to wins in the past. And I think he's been able to make do with middle of the road talent to elite talent for Andrews. But if he were able to get a true wide receiver, man, like I just want to see it, because like I want to see him showcase like his passing ability, because I think he is a better passer than he's given credit for.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's what I would say about the receiver.
And as much as you're excited about Lamar, and I am too, I got my jersey in the closet, I have it on when games start and all of that too. I'm really excited for Lamar. The defense I'm excited for as well. And as I mentioned all the rundown of all the picks that they have and all the additions that they made. I'm excited for the next step in Patrick Queen's development in the middle of the defense there. I'm excited for Williams and Hamilton and Marcus Peters coming back and Campbell giving us another ride. So yeah, I'm excited for this team all around. And then, I mean, just to mention as well, having the best kicker in the world on your team as well definitely plays its part and is influential. So I'm excited for everything that we have on this team. We have the pieces. I believe that they now are there in full. We now just have to execute and get it done.
Great head coach.
That plays its part too. Well, I'm excited for all things that are going on there, and looking forward to what's coming with this team. So yeah, definitely good things to come for all our squads that we cover. Good thing across the board. We did all the rundowns of awards and division winners and all that kind of stuff. Definitely fun things. For those that are watching me and looking down at my phone, low key, I'm doing another fantasy draft right now. I forgot it was set for right now, so I'm peeking down trying to get my pick.
We got our league's official one.
I had an auto pick and got McCaffrey first pick. I just said he was on my do not touch list, so we'll see how that goes. But this is league number 25, as I said. So
it's not a paid league, so it's
whatever. So we should be good. But fun things all around. Excited for that. We will talk about all the things going on across the league, fantasy and all that stuff as things transpire, and looking forward to this first week of football and beyond. So great things there. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning back into us. We're back and ready to roll for season 4. Definitely going to be fun things ahead, fun guests and all that type stuff. And we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Again, as you see below. Go ahead.
I guess I'll just say, like, going forward for the viewers, listeners, we'll have Thursday drops weekly.
Oh, you're asking me. Oh, yeah. That stands for us. Yeah. We'll have Thursday drops before Thursday night games. We'll have our episodes out in full for that. And we'll have clips to go out throughout the rest of the week leading up to our next release the fall after that. So definitely we'll do that. If we have time and enough of a topic breaks, we might have a little one-off segment for whatever breaking news may happen. If we get, for example, even though it's NFL, if a Russell Westbrook trade happens, all of a sudden we'll hop back on real quick and talk about that for 10 minutes or things of that nature. So definitely things to discuss across the board. A whole lot of fun stuff. I'm picking still, as you guys can see. Definitely a lot of fun stuff. Just grab Lamar Jackson in the 3rd round. Happy about that. But yeah, definitely we'll stay consistent with all of that. And then also we'll have clips kind of flooding everywhere for you guys too. So IG and TikTok at section.300, Twitter at section300sports. Follow us on here on all the podcasting services. Subscribe to this show. We really appreciate all of that. Share it to those that are LA based and beyond that just want to hear good sports conversation. Appreciate all the love, you guys, and we'll see you guys again very soon. Appreciate you for tuning in. We out here, man. Season 4 is underway. Appreciate it. Peace.
Deuces.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be a good one.